Hi connections. I just completed small transition effect using JavaScript and CSS. I just want to share with you the same. Let me reload the web page. See here, I have two letters coming from the end and another two things which are loading to 100% of opacity. Let's see how we can do this transition effect. Actually, this is one single image. For this transition to happen, we need to split this one whole image into 4 parts. Let me tell you once again. So the parts will be, this is the part 1, this is part 2, part 3 and part 4. We need to keep all these 4 parts for initial styles and the final styles. Let me explain what is happening inside this. I have called these 1 2 3 4 parts in inside the JavaScript using getElement by class name, and the initial styles of these 4 parts will be like this. Let me explain those. This is part 1 and this is part 3. This is 2 and 4. 1 2 3 4. So I will be explaining how the transition is happening for part 1 alone as of now. So this small image is a part 1. Let me see what is the initial style of this part 1. So part 1, we are setting opacity 0 at initial style and padding right 300 pixel. That means we are taking this S from the center and keeping at the left end of the web page by having padding right 400 pixel 300 pixel, sorry, and we are keeping transform skew x 30 degree. We are giving the style for this S in this trapezoidal shape. So these are all the initial stage. At the starting point, S will be placed here and it will be in the skew trapezoidal position and opacity 0. And after calling this part 1 and part 3 in JavaScript, we are giving padding left right is equal to 0 for part 1. See here. Similarly for part 1, opacity is equal to 1. So what is happening here, at the initial time padding right is 400 and the final stage padding right will be 0. So it is moving from this position to here. Similarly opacity will be 0 at the starting. After moving this travel, it will be showing the opacity 1. So complete S will be showing here. So this whole transition will happen by 1.5 second because padding right is from 0 to 400 to 0. It will be happening in 1.5 seconds itself after delay of 1 second. Similarly opacity from 0 to 1 will happen in the time of 1 second. Similarly for transform skew trapezoidal shape to normal shape, see here, for part 1 transform will be none. That is, we are initially we are giving transform as a skew x minus 30 degree. Finally we are taking this as a none. So this is the thing which is happening to S, that is part 1. Similarly which it will be happening to part 3 as well, but part 2 and part 4 we are just giving opacity 0 to 1. That's it. Only these two things will be happening for this. Let's see what is the initial styles for part 3 and part 4. Sorry, part 2 and part 4. So this is the initial style for part 2 and part 4. Opacity 0. This opacity 0 is the initial style and opacity 1 is a final style for this. That's all. Sorry, 1 second. So like this, for part 1 and part 3 are coming from this end and placing at the center. part 2 and 4 is giving opacity of 1. That's all. Thank you for watching.